Hello, my name is Cheryl Wilson, and I live in Northern Virginia with my hubby and my cat Diva. I'm an abstract artist, but more than that, I'm a Christian and I put God first in my everyday life. God had a plan, I just follow it. It really is that easy. I wanted to share with you a pretty typical day in my artist world. I start every day with a cup of coffee in a pretty cup. I love to make it fresh in my Keurig. I love listening to the coffee being brewed as I wait for that first sip. I like my coffee strong and black, but on occasion we put some flavor in during the holidays. Hebrews 10:22 says, "Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith." When we enter into an intimate heart relationship with God through faith, God becomes our greatest desire. So walking with God, reading His Word, praying to Him, and sharing our hearts with Him allows us to truly know His plan. I walk by faith daily with God. I start my day with God, so I don't let my life run away with me and get distracted, which can happen so easily. As soon as my feet hit the floor, my sweet cat Diva is waiting for me, and while I brew my coffee, I feed her and we get our day started. I always turn on my diffuser in my kitchen as it tends just to set the mood. And I'm currently using Fraser fir because it's so cold outside when I recorded this video, and it kind of reminds me of the trees and the fresh snow. I actually have a diffuser in my bedroom and in my art studio, and as the essential oils, they just create an incredible atmosphere and a perfect way to get my day started. It is so important to start your day out right. Whether you're a wing it type or someone that plans your day, I'm a planner. I plan out my week, and I bring that planning down to my daily schedule. I plan with attention, and I think about how each step I take will affect my studio time, my social media post, and how each planning step affects the day ahead of me. But the most important part of my day is that quiet time with God, where I sit down with a cup of coffee. And this time of reading God's Word and talking to Him in prayer guides me for the whole rest of the day. I never want to go through a day without His guidance. His plan is the perfect plan for me. God has the perfect plan. All I have to do is follow it. And just as we have to nourish ourselves in God's Word, we have to nourish our bodies too. So, this is a typical breakfast for me. I start the day with my cup of coffee. I add some mixed cereals. I actually take about 6 or 7 cereals that are low fat but high grain and organic. Mix them together in one big container, and that's what I have every morning. Throw in some blueberries that I absolutely love, sometimes some strawberries or raspberries. It's like a perfect mix there, that bowl of cereal. Then the milk I use, I try not to use dairy. I use like a Almond Breeze, unsweetened original milk. I don't do a lot. I don't like my cereal soggy, but what a perfect breakfast. I don't mind it being the same one every day. So before I head downstairs to my art studio, I took a peek outside and see that it had snowed a little bit, but what a beautiful day. And looking up into the trees at the way the snow sits in the limbs. So I get my socks on and head downstairs to my art studio. One of the things that I do when I go into my studio is I set the mood. I turn on some beautiful classical music, I turn on my fountain, and then I light some candles. And setting the mood is just a way to unwind and tell myself it's okay to enjoy the day. It's okay to start creating. And in my life, things like dancing and creating starts with music and movement of the body and burning incense, and just enjoying getting the room set up. I usually start with Collage, and these are 2 books that I did, and this is an example of one of the collage pages I do. I write down words on a piece of paper, usually my intentions, maybe a Bible verse, maybe something that is on my mind, a prayer request from somebody, and I just glue them down on the paper. And then I start adding paint, and I'm very loose with my paint and water, and I actually, my intention are to cover up the words with paint because I know they're there, and I have put them down and I have set them down for the day. So I just add paint and water and layers, and I don't really worry about composition, because sometimes that's when my best pieces get done, is I don't worry about what I'm creating. I just play and I have fun and I enjoy. And so I have several books of pages of starts like this. Sometimes I will actually pull them out and frame them because I like the way they've looked. But this is just a way to get started before I start on like my bigger pieces, because I normally do bigger pieces of art. And then I will move on to papers that are loose and loosen up that way. And then I will dig into the real paint. I have a lot of paint. I use a lot of Golden's paints, a lot of the fluids, and tube paints where I just squeeze them right out of the bottles. And then I do a lot of larger pieces of art. And it's an inspiration that comes from deep within, but it has to start with God. That is my secret to my life, is always starting with God. So many times I'm asked why I don't worry as an artist about my art career and my journey. And that's because I don't have to. I put everything in God's hands. Remember, God has a plan. All I have to do is follow it. Have a cup of espresso in the afternoon. Put my feet in the sand or in the paint, whatever I feel. I just have to be excited about what God has for me. I close my day with planning the next day, and I prayerfully thank God for what He's given me and what my next day holds.